Tonight on News 13.
Get ready to shovel. A good dose of snow topped with some sleet is headed our way. We'll tell you when and how much.
Shoppers grabbing their milk, bread, and eggs before the big storm tomorrow. But how is PennDOT preparing for the storm? I'll have that story.
We'll also have an update on Blizzard. The dog found abused and abandoned last week. We'll tell you how he's doing.
This is News 13 Now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to News 13 Now. I'm Kathy Bazinski. Well, here we go again. We are under a winter storm warning from 10 p.m. tonight right until 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. The National Weather Service says it won't be the worst storm we've ever dealt with, but travel, especially tomorrow, will be hazardous. We've already had one round this week, and now we're braced for a second, beginning tonight and continuing into Wednesday afternoon.
We're expecting the snow to begin a little bit right around midnight or so, 11 p.m. midnight. And then it snows most of the night, and then it mixes with a little bit of sleet and freezing rain during the morning tomorrow. And that's what will keep the snow amounts from mounting over 10 inches. I mean, we're thinking somewhere in that 5 to 8 inch range.
If there's a bright side, it could have been worse. As of mid-afternoon, the Weather Service models began to change for the warmer.
Some of our models are coming in a little bit warmer, bringing in a little bit warmer air to turn the snow to freezing rain and sleet. So that would definitely cut down on the higher amounts. Like up here in New York, we're going to stay all snow. We're looking for a good 10, 12 inches up here.
But with a changeover to more ice than snow, the forecast for Wednesday morning will certainly include cancellations and tricky travel.
It's definitely going to be very treacherous travel tomorrow morning, during the overnight hours and, during the morning commute tomorrow. It's definitely going to be very, especially if we get some freezing rain on top of the snow. It could be really, really nasty.
And we will have the detailed National Weather Service forecast coming up in just a few minutes on News 13 Now. Well, we've heard the forecast. It's no wonder people are hurrying to the grocery store to stock up tonight. But they weren't the only ones out on the roads today. Christina Papa has more on PennDOT's preparations for tomorrow's snow day.
Shoppers like Rosalie and her mom came to the grocery store on a mission to buy the essentials before the winter storm.
I came up because they're calling for snow tomorrow, and I wanted to make sure my mother had everything she needed. Got a few things in and, pack in the stores.
But they weren't alone. The parking lot of Boyer's grocery store in Hazleton was packed.
There's a lot of people out. The traffic's been a bit intense.
So why the rush to the supermarket? The National Weather Service is calling for 5 to 8 inches overnight and then some unsettling rain slushy conditions continuing throughout the day.
I don't like it, but we have no choice.
That will make stepping outside a hassle for folks like Mary.
Just make sure you have everything in that you need so you don't have to go out.
For CC Coriel, those essentials include
coffee, milk, bread, eggs.
Yeah.
And his bacon. Did you get bacon?
And while most of the shoppers here at Boyer say they will be bunkered up and ready for the big snowstorm tomorrow, some people will have to go outside and weather the conditions. That's where PennDOT comes in.
Plow blades have been switched. The trucks are loaded up. PennDOT workers are just waiting for the snow to begin.
We're making sure that we have plenty of supplies on hand here and just getting ready for everything, and we're watching the weather.
Last year in Luzerne County, at this point, PennDOT had used 9,000 tons of salt. This year, they're already at 19,000 tons. The salt's getting used up, so to make sure they have enough, Governor Corbett has allowed extended services for drivers carrying salt.
It's more the delivery coming here. Once the salt is here, our guys are fully prepared, fully equipped. They're going out, putting the salt down, plowing the roads, so it won't impact what we do. It's just a way for us to ensure that we have plenty of salt on hand because of the high numbers that we've been using already.
While PennDOT is working around the clock plowing the roads, Rosalie says she'll be enjoying a snack from her full cupboard of groceries.
No, I'm going to be inside. I'm not a fan of winter.
Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
Well, it's official. Former State Senator Rafael Musto is now a federal prison inmate. The 84-year-old Musto, seen here at his most recent competency hearing, was ruled mentally incompetent to stand trial on corruption charges. He was ordered to report to a federal medical prison in North Carolina yesterday, and the Bureau of Prisons now confirms that he is an inmate there. This is video of the former senator over 3 years ago when he was first charged with counts including bribery and taking kickbacks. Since then, Musto and his attorneys battled to avoid trial on the charges, arguing that he was too ill and too old. Federal prosecutors charged Musto with taking $35,000 in cash plus gifts and services in return for swinging grants to projects involving the Miracle Construction Company. Other federal counts charge that Musto solicited and accepted bribes from others seeking his influence. Musto will spend at least 4 months in the prison medical facility and will then be reevaluated as to whether or not he's competent to stand trial. Investigators say they now have a suspect in custody in connection with the death of a Tamaqua woman whose body was found in Jim Thorpe over the weekend. The body of Angela Steigerwald was found along Flagstaff Road near Jim Thorpe Saturday when fire crews responded to a brush fire in the wooded area. Her silver Buick was never found, and investigators used OnStar to pinpoint its location in North Carolina. Police there pulled the vehicle over and then had a brief standoff with the man who was driving it, 24-year-old Anthony Darrell Heath of Allentown. At this point, Heath is being held without bail and still hasn't been formally charged, although Pennsylvania State Police are calling the death a homicide. Police have now released more information about that stabbing involving a brother and sister in McAdoo over the weekend. Investigators have identified the victim as Megan Lucetta. Police were called to her home on Cleveland Street, where they found her with a severe stab wound. She told police her brother had done it. Tonight, she's in the hospital in stable condition. And police say they followed a blood trail that eventually led to 24-year-old Ralph Lucetta. Investigators say the brother and sister got into an argument that became physical, and that Lucetta pulled out a set of brass knuckles with a knife attached and stabbed the woman. Ralph Lucetta remains in prison, charged with attempted criminal homicide and aggravated assault. Still ahead on News 13 now, we'll have that all-important forecast for the storm that will move in late tonight into tomorrow. What to expect just ahead in News 13 weather. But first,
after the Hillside SPCA's rescue of an abandoned pit bull last week, some are saying he might have been a fighter dog. I'll have that story.
You're watching News 13 now. Local and loving it.
An update on another kind of blizzard tonight. We're talking about the dog who was left abused and abandoned in McAdoo last week. As Samantha Galvez tells us, he's doing much better, but rescuers believe he may have been used for dog fighting.
Just days ago, this happy pup was shy and scared to be around other people.
We just want him to find a good, permanent, loving home.
After 2 people called McAdoo police stating that a pit bull had been left tied to a pole in frigid temps for over an hour, police estimate it was only 4 degrees at the time.
His genitals were frozen to the pavement. They were obviously very, very sore, inflamed, swollen.
But today, Blizzard is being shown lots of love at the Hillside SPCA in Pottsville.
He is neutered. He's current on his rabies shot, and he's current on his distemper shot, and he was wormed. So he's doing much better. I think he's sort of rolled with all the punches that he's been dealt with, and he's doing really well. We're very, very happy for him.
The SPCA found 3 silver pellets embedded in Blizzard's skin and scabs all over his body, which led to the belief that Blizzard was used in dogfighting.
After spending some time with Blizzard, he shows no signs of aggression or being a fighter dog. However, that doesn't mean that he couldn't have been previously attacked.
Dogs who are used in fighting usually show signs of aggression and choose to not socialize with other dogs.
We do not believe that that is the case at all. We've had him with several other dogs, and he's been fine with them. All he wants to do is play. We've not seen any aggression in him at all.
The SPCA has already received many calls from those hoping to adopt Blizzard and give him the home he deserves.
He's just a regular dog that just wants to play. That's all.
Police are currently investigating Blizzard's abandonment, and if you would like to learn more on how to adopt or donate, you can visit the website on the bottom of your screen. Samantha Galvez, News 13, Pottsville.
Time now for News 13 weather.
In tonight's weather shot, we are local and unfortunately shoveling it just off Claremont Avenue in Tamaqua, and she's not alone. Plenty of folks were out cleaning off their cars today, but by late morning the sun had come out and it was actually kind of pleasant out there. Tracking the National Surface Radar, here we go. That's what we're talking about. We're starting to pick out the front end of this on our regional radar, but let's go to the big picture right now. Let's open it up to the national radar. There you see. That's a storm system that is bearing down on us, and depending where you are will determine whether you get blasted with snow or sleet or ice or a combination of both. Here's News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. Snow beginning around 11 p.m. It could be heavy at times. 90% chance of snow with an accumulation of around 6 inches. low around 23 degrees. Wednesday, 90% chance of snow, not ending until early afternoon. The snow could be at heavy times, and additional accumulation of around 2 inches for a grand total of about 8 inches for the storm. The high will be 31 degrees tomorrow, and then at night the snow is done. It'll get cloudy, the low dropping to about 16. For Thursday, then it gets mostly sunny with the high near 22. At night it gets cold, low plunging to 4 degrees. For Friday, partly sunny with the high near 23. At night, mostly cloudy with the low around 10. And Saturday, here we go again, mostly cloudy with a chance of snow, high near 26 degrees. Heading to Schuylkill County for tonight, 100% chance of snow beginning later in the overnight, closer to daybreak, but snow could be heavy at times. Then you add in some sleet in that snow. The low gets down to around 23 degrees overnight. Snow and sleet accumulation in Schuylkill, 2 to 4 inches possible. Wednesday, freezing rain and sleet in the morning. It's going to be a mess. A mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain continuing well into the afternoon. Some difficult driving conditions and a high near 30 degrees. At night, snow ends. It gets mostly cloudy. It gets cold. The low drops to 13 degrees with a wind chill as low as 0. And for Thursday, it gets mostly sunny with a high near 24. Partly cloudy at night with the low around 11. For Friday, partly sunny with a high near 26. Overnight low around 13 degrees. And Saturday, mostly cloudy. Our next chance of snow, a high up to 27 degrees. Well, they finally have some takers. The local Habitat for Humanity was having a problem getting people to buy their homes. But as Christina Papa explains, an open house changed all that, and the group is now calling for volunteers to help with the remodeling.
He says he's helping build the American dream, starting with these keys to your very own home.
It's big, and we're keeping this in a tax roll. We're doing the community a favor as well as the family.
As a way to try and get the project up and running, recently the president of Habitat for Humanity in Hazleton, Anthony Silkevich, showed off this unfinished home here in McAdoo to potential buyers.
Good. I had 9 families came here and expressed an interest in this house.
In just a few months, he'll be fixing it up and selling it to a family in need.
I think it's a very good turnout for the small district that we represent.
To ensure a family is really interested, Habitat for Humanity is making it mandatory for families to attend an orientation on February 5th at 6 p.m. at the Habitat office in Hazleton. That's where they'll receive an application for the home.
This cabinet set behind me is one of the few donations that Habitat for Humanity has received to help build this home. Now, the people that end up buying this house will have to help the volunteers install appliances just like this.
Okay, they're going to help us. They're going to put several hundred hours of work between themselves, their friends, their family to complete this house. They're going to gather their financial resources together to buy the house.
All that hard work will pay off. The family will only have to pay an estimated $20,000 to $30,000 once it's completed.
We're offering a 0-interest mortgage. Most families we work with own their house within 10 years.
But more volunteers are always needed.
2 volunteers actually came in and take a look at it, and I'll be able to tap them for help.
Silkevich asks people who have a real knowledge of carpentry to visit the site or give the Habitat for Humanity office a call.
Come on out. They don't have to call me. Just come on out on a Saturday morning. We'll see if we could use you.
Construction on this home is set to begin in early April. Christina Papa, News 13, McAdoo.
And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The daily 546, the big 4 4502, Quinto 40482, and the treasure hunt 2 3 11 15 18. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. First tonight, happy birthday to Lauren Davidovich. This wish comes with love from your family and friends. Tonight's Talk of the Town report, Elder Wish is encouraging you to nominate or respect a loved one for this year's prize, a unique all-expense-paid vacation for 2 to beautiful Woodlock Resort in the Pocono Mountains. The contest is simply this, an essay entitled, Why I Think My Loved One Deserves to Win This Trip. You must be 60 or older. Please submit essays to Elder Wish P.O. Box 1298, Cunningham, PA 18219. And finally, the next Catholic Underground event will be held February 15th at 7 p.m. at the John Paul II Center at Gate of Heaven Parish in Dallas. This will be another evening of faith, fun, friends, and great music, all featuring Paging Samuel. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Mary Geschel of Hazleton. Funeral is Thursday at 9 a.m. from the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. And Joseph A. Perini of Whitehall. Funeral is held today from the St. Elizabeth Catholic Church. Arrangements were by the J.S. Burkholder Funeral Home.
This is News 13 Sports.
The Winter Olympics start in Sochi on Thursday, and tonight we are hitting the slopes to get ready for the games. This is part 1 of our recent trip to Eagle Rock Resort. On Friday we will air part 2, and you'll have a chance to win a free ski lesson. Now, without further ado, the opening ceremonies of our winter sports feature.
This isn't Sochi, and this isn't the story of 2 Olympic medal hopefuls. This is the story of Bob and Peyton. Oh yeah, and Bob's snowboard, which is just about as old as Peyton.
I got it for Christmas at some point when I was maybe just getting into high school age, and it's got a lot of little battle scars on the bottom from rocks going through the woods. Otherwise, it's a good board. It's done me well the past few years.
More on those battle scars in a moment, but for right now, let's stay in the present. For the last 4 years, Bob Madigan has been a ski and snowboard instructor at Eagle Rock Resort. Today he's with Peyton, an 8-year-old from New Jersey who already has a few years of boarding experience. This is how Bob communicates when he's shredding with a member of a younger generation who wants to grow up to be gnarly on the slopes.
You want to relate it to other things they do, like other sports they do, especially like skiing. A lot of times kids will have their hands down at their side and say, well, if you play soccer and I'm about to kick the ball towards you, where are your hands going to be? Oh, they're going to be up. Well, same thing on skis. You want to get those hands up and get your balance back.
This is what Bob communicated to Peyton during their lesson.
What did he tell you today? What do you remember that he told you?
To slow down and don't go that fast.
You still fall a lot?
Yes.
And what do the instructors say when that happens? Do you get frustrated, or is it just for part of the fun?
It's part of the fun.
What is one thing you would tell someone who is going to start snowboarding? What would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
Do not go that fast. You might fall a lot too.
Here's another snowboarding term for you, yard sale. It refers to when a skier or snowboarder wipes out and leaves some of their gear behind on the hill. I don't know how many yard sales or wipeouts Bob had growing up, but he started snowboarding when he was just about Peyton's age.
When I was maybe around 10 or 12, I started snowboarding in the woods near my house with friends. So every time it snowed, my friends and I would all go outside, build jumps, stuff like that. And then I started going for lessons at some of the resorts around here. And now I've been snowboarding ever since, about 10 years now.
So you kind of got lessons at the School of Hard Knocks, just out in the backyard, no real teachers at first. Yeah. What was that like? How did you learn that way? What were some of the first lessons you learned the hard way?
Well, you learn how to turn when there's trees coming at you, and you learn a lot of little fun stuff slowly. But once you get lessons, I started getting a lot better. But that wasn't until I was maybe 13.
So here's just some of the passion and some of the terms you will need to be successful at snowboarding. On Friday, we'll take it a step further, and we'll even discuss skiing. Who knows? Follow these steps, and maybe we'll be reporting on you and your quest for gold at the Winter Games in 2018 in South Korea. As high school winter sports continue in our area on Tuesday night, let's check out some of the district standings. Hazleton area is leading the way in the District 2 Quad A boys basketball standings with about a week and a half left in the regular season. All the tournaments in District 2 are open, so all teams can participate if they wish. Crestwood is right there with everyone else in the AAA standings. They have a showdown with Hazleton area next week. And in Single A, the preppers from MMI are sitting pretty. Now to girls basketball. The Hazleton area girls are in third place right now in the standings. The Crestwood girls, who lead Division I of the Wyoming Valley Conference, are one game out in the District 2 standings. And here's a quick look at the Single A standings. To District 11 boys basketball in the AAA standings, Pottsville, Blue Mountain, and Tamaqua area are all in the top 10, and they will play in the district playoffs. North Schuylkill has punched their ticket at the AA level, and in Single A, everyone is looking up at Monoy area. In the girls' Quad A standings, Pottsville is in the postseason. Now to AAA, where the North Schuylkill girls and Blue Mountain girls have their eyes on a district championship. And finally, in Single A, the Phillies are in first from Marion. Nativity and Shenandoah Valley will also be in the district tournament. Two postponements to tell you about tonight. Middle school basketball, Hazleton Elementary Middle School versus West Hazleton has been moved to February 25th. And Tamaqua Wrestling, Panther Valley at Tamaqua moved to February 11th. That's sports for now. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, take it easy.
Welcome to this week's Super Segment. Today I'm here with Dr. Antonelli, the Superintendent of Hazleton Area School District. And today we're talking about the snow because tomorrow the forecast says 6 to 9 inches, crazy amounts of snow. What does that mean for the school district?
Well, obviously the safety of our students and staff is our #1 priority. If the weather forecast is true, it could be a very problematic weather event tomorrow, and we would be looking to cancel school. We have not made that decision as of yet, but we will be monitoring the forecast throughout the evening, the road conditions, so that we can make what we hope is the right decision for tomorrow.
How was that decision made then? How do you decide?
There are a lot of factors that go into it, Christina. Obviously, we look at national weather forecasts. We access 4 different national weather services: AccuWeather, the Weather Channel, Weather Underground, and MSNBC. We also have our own men, school district maintenance folks that are out on the roads. We have folks that we contact from PennDOT that are out on the road. I myself will go out and drive the roads to see the condition, to safely put our buses out there to transport our students to and from school.
So there's a lot of snow days. You know, we've already had 4 snow days so
That's
far?
correct. We've had 4 so far.
And what does that mean then?
Building in the snow days obviously would help parents with travel and vacation plans, but would also give us as a school district more latitude in making up the days during the course of the school year and not having to just extend the 4th quarter. The problem we have by extending the 4th quarter is the days have to be made up by June 30th. By building in snow days, again, we would have latitude to make up some of the days during the course of the school year.
So those school days, you guys heard it from the superintendent, they do have to be made up. So kids, I know you're all praying for a snow day tomorrow, but you will have to make those up. For this week's Super Segment, I'm Christina Papa. We'll see you next week.